everybody, it's Victor from The Retired Guys. So the other day I made a video on how to make pie crust. So today I'm going to put that pie crust to use. I have it chilling in the refrigerator and I'm going to pull it out. You can, if you want to save time, you can buy your own ready-made pie crust. Trader Joe's has a good pie crust that's ready-made. If you just want to do this particular recipe quick and you don't want to wait to make pie crust, because remember, once you make the pie crust, you have to let it sit in the refrigerator for at least 30 minutes. Mine's been sitting for about overnight. I was going to make an apple pie. I'm actually going to make an apple pie in another video. What I'm going to make today is I'm going to make, they're called handheld apple pies. And basically, they are exactly like apple pies, but you can actually hold them in your hand. I'm going to show you how I put that together. I'm going to show you the ingredients you need for those. And this is very similar to an apple pie, but these are handheld apple pies that, you know, if you have company over, you could put a whole bunch of them in a basket. People can walk by, just take one out and actually start eating. It's almost like an apple turnover if you want to compare it to anything. So, but I call them handheld apple pies. So I'm going to show you what you're going to need to make that, and we're going to put that together while the pie crust is actually still chilling in the refrigerator. So we'll come back in a sec. Okay, so what you're going to need for this recipe is you're going to need basically 2 Granny Smith apples actually cut in cubes, which I'm going to do next for you. You're going to need 1/4 cup of granulated sugar, which is right here. You're going to need 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, which is right here. You're going to also need 1/4 teaspoon of salt. You're going to need 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, which I have back here. You're going to need a pinch of nutmeg, which is back here. And you're going to need 3 tablespoons of water. So we're going to go over to the stove and we're going to put this together. This is not a filling like an apple pie, you know, in a sense that you have to put it in the pie and bake it in the oven. We're actually going to cook the ingredients first on the stove, and then we're going to assemble it. So let's get started and let's do the apples first. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually peel the apples, and you peel them any way that you want to peel them. I mean, I have a peeler here, but some people are good enough where they can actually use a paring knife, but I find it better just using the peeler. Yes, I do go slow, and some people actually can take the peel off in one shot. I mean, that is amazing, but unfortunately, I can't do that, as you can see, but the end result is still the same. As long as you peel it and get all the green skin off, I think you're fine. So peel them any way you want. Okay, so that's one apple peeled. I mean, I will try to do the other apple with a paring knife, but I don't think I'm going to be that good. Let's see. I surprised myself. I did very, very well. Okay, so the next step is we're going to basically cut these in cubes. So we're going to go as close to the center of the apple as possible without getting the core. Okay, so that's about good for me. And basically what you want to do, cut here, and then cut in cubes. Okay, so if your cubes are a little bit big, I'm going to show you what the next step is. Okay, so I have my stove on. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to throw in our half a stick of butter. And we're going to let that melt. Okay, so we're just going to let this melt for a while because you want to get that nuttiness, that nutty flavor out of the butter. You don't want to burn the butter. You just want to melt it a little because you want to make sure your stove is not on high because the butter will melt. Will burn. So you just want to melt this a little. Okay, so let this melt. Let this almost when you see where the butter almost starts to like bubble. Okay, so just move this around a little. Let this melt. Okay. Okay, once we get this mostly melted, the next thing you want to do is you want to throw in your apples. You want to let that basically cook for about 5 minutes. You want this to incorporate for about 5 minutes. Remember, you want to actually cook your apples in here because you're only going to bake them in the oven for about 12 minutes. So you want your apples to be basically done on the stove. So some of these apples stuck together. So the butter has almost all melted. Okay, so I'm going to incorporate this, cook this for a little while, about 5 minutes. Okay, so cook that for about 5 minutes, and then we'll start throwing in the other ingredients. Okay, so this has been cooking for about 5 minutes. The next thing you want to do is you want to throw in your granulated sugar. You want to throw in your brown sugar. Okay, so this has been cooking for a while. We're going to add our half a teaspoon of cinnamon. And we're going to add just a pinch of nutmeg. And then we're going to add the 3 tablespoons of water. And you're just going to cook this until you incorporate everything together. Make sure your oven is on sort of a low to medium. This is going to form a beautiful, almost like a caramel, an apple caramel. It's actually, if you can smell this is absolutely delicious. It smells so delicious. So the apples are going to be cooked when I put them in the pie crust. And I'm going to show you how I do that crust when I take the crust out. But you just want to keep an eye on this. And just for acidity, to cut some of it out, add just a dash of salt. Okay, give it a good stir. Okay, so we're going to cook this for about 5 more minutes, and then we'll come back. Okay, so this has been cooking, and now we're going to remove it from the stove, and we're going to pour it into a little bowl, and we're going to chill it because we want this to go into the pie filling cold. Okay, so try to get all those juices out. Okay. And that's what it looks like. That's your pie filling, your little pie filling. So this will make a couple. I'm going to show you now. We're going to come back when this is nice and cool, and we're going to start assembling our handheld apple pie. Okay, be back in a sec. Okay, so I have my pie crust out. It's been chilled, and I also have my filling that's also been chilled, and this smells absolutely delicious. So we're going to put that aside, and what we're going to do first is we're going to basically unwrap our pie. Okay, we're going to unwrap this first. What we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit of all-purpose flour. Make sure your counter is nice and clean. Okay, and what you're going to do is you're going to get your rolling pin. Put a little bit of flour on your rolling pin. And what you want to do is basically start rolling this out. So we're going to make the handheld apple pies today. This has got a long way to go. So when I come back, this should be all flat the way I need it, and then I'll start cutting out the shapes. Okay, so I got this flattened out. You don't want it too thick. Okay, so it's rolled out. So now what you want to do is you want to cut out little circles. So you could use anything you have inside your home. You can use, I'm using basically a small little bowl that I have. So they're going to be like little baby apple pie that you can actually hold in your hand. And basically what you do is you're just going to go in and you're going to just press down. And you have one right there. So that's one. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take one of our little circles. Okay, we're going to take some of our filling. Try not to overfill it, you know, because you want to off-center it. Don't put it directly in the middle. Just off-center it, you know, but don't put that much in because they will explode. Okay, so then what you want to do is, I have an egg wash here, which is 2 eggs, a little bit of water. So I can use my fingers as long as I get the edge. And what you want to do is you want to just basically rub some of that on the edge. And basically you want to do is you want to fold that over. Crimp it down with your fingers. And then get a fork. And we're going to basically just pat that down. Okay. Then what you want to do with the back of the knife, you want to make, the front of the knife, you want to make a little split in the center, on the side, and on the other side. And that's it. That is your little apple pie pocket. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a couple of them together. Okay, so I made a total of 10. There was enough to make 10. So now what we're going to do is I sealed it all on the edges on the bottom with a fork. Very, very easy to do. Made 3 slits on top for all the steam to come out. Now what we're going to do is now we're going to basically just egg wash every single one of them because we want this to have a beautiful finish when it's done. So we're going to egg wash every single one. Don't be afraid to use a lot of the egg wash. Get the edges. Okay. Oh. So I'm videoing myself today because my other half, my cameraman, is actually at work at the moment. So he normally is the one behind the camera, but today I had to use my tripod. And sometimes it comes out, sometimes it doesn't, you know, so I'm hoping. Okay, so these are nicely egg washed, so we're going to get rid of the egg wash. We're going to wash our hands real quick because we're still not done. Still not done, still not done. Remember, we want to make sure these holes are open because the egg wash basically will close them. Okay, so let's make sure these are open. Okay. We want those slits in there because that's where all the steam is going to come out. And not only that, it just makes a really nice design. So, yeah, make sure this is all open. Okay. So, the next thing we're going to do is we are going to do a little bit of the convection sugar. So you're going to sprinkle some convection sugar on all of them. That gives it a nice glossy finish. Okay, so we got the sugar. Okay, and this is going to go into a 400-degree oven for about 15 minutes. And when we come back, these should be done. Okay, so these are done, and we're going to take them out of the oven. And they are still bubbling. So there they are. They look absolutely delicious, and they are still bubbling. But what we're going to do is we're going to put them, we're going to transfer them onto a warming tray. So we're going to let those cool in. Oh my God, they came out so good, and they still are bubbling. Some of them did leak out on the side, but that's okay. I mean, the juices are still in there. They browned up very, very nicely, so it's no problem if 1 or 2 of them actually oozed out a little of the liquid. There's still plenty of liquid inside of them. So I'm going to let these cool for a little bit, and then I'm going to transfer them over to a warming tray, and then I'm going to just wait for James to get home because he absolutely loves these. But let's wait a couple of minutes. Let's wait for these to cool down. I'll put them on a warming tray, and I'll be right back. Okay, so they've been warming for a while, so I'm just going to transfer them over to a nice warming tray. So I'm going to let them cool. This is the one that actually leaked out a little. So we're going to let that cool. Oh, they came out so good. I don't know if you can see those, but Uh, like I said, I'm the only one videoing today, so I have to position my camera the best I can. I don't even think I need this glove, to be honest with you. These are handheld apple pies. I don't know if you can see that, but those are handheld apple pies. They look absolutely delicious. So we're going to let these cool. I got a paper towel on the bottom of the rack just in case any of them decide to leak out. But we're going to let this cool for a little while, and then we're going to actually open one up and actually show you what the inside looks like. But they do look and smell delicious. So the apple turnovers, actually, I'm not calling them apple turnovers. They're actually apple pie, handheld apple pie. You can actually pick it up and basically hold it in your hand. I'm going to actually cut into one now. I'm dying to see what they taste like. They smell absolutely delicious. So let me get a knife and let me get a fork and we'll cut one of them open. Okay, so I have one here in front of me. I did slice it open. I mean, look at the filling in there. I mean, it's absolutely, and the flake of the pastry, actually, of the pie crust, absolutely delicious. This would go good. I mean, if you had heavy cream and you can make yourself some nice whipping cream, and you can actually dip this in the whipping cream and eat it that way, or you can just take one of them. You can just take one whole one and you can just put a scoop of ice cream right on top of that, and you have apple pie a la mode. So I'm going to give this a taste and actually try it out. Yeah, let's give it a shot. The pie crust is flaky, buttery, creamy. It's absolutely delicious. Follow my recipe on the pie crust. I did do a video on how to make pie crust. I will put a link on the pie crust on how to make pie crust on this video as well. The apple basically melts in your mouth. It's cooked perfectly. I can taste the cinnamon. I can taste the nutmeg. Absolutely delicious. Like I said, this is similar to the same apple pie filling, except I cut them in bigger pieces and I actually put them in the pie when I cooked them. This I cooked on the stove. The only thing I did not put in these, which in this particular apple filling recipe, was I didn't put the lemon juice and I didn't put the orange juice or the orange zest or the lemon zest, which is fine. On this particular one, I just want to taste apple and cinnamon, and that's it. I got to go for another bite. That is absolutely delicious. And if you can see, look at the pie crust. It's like so flaky. And I told you, don't overfill it because there's enough filling in there for you on every single bite. So I have a video up on pie crust, and that pie crust you can use for any pie. I also put a video up recently about making an apple pie with orange juice and lemon juice, excuse me, which gives it a more of a tangy flavor besides just the apple. So that came out absolutely delicious. Jimmy had 2 pieces already. And these are handheld apple pies because literally you can hold the apple pie in your hand and dip it in whipping cream or a scoop of ice cream on the side, and you have apple pie a la mode. So yeah, this is a very easy recipe. These were made with Granny Smith apples. Use any apple that you like except Red Delicious. I would stay away from Red Delicious on any apple pie or any handheld apple pie that you make. I would stay away from the Red Delicious. But any other any other any other like acidity apple that you want to use, you can use. Granny Smith are the best for baking. They hold their flavor, they hold their texture. It really is the best apple. Yeah, I'm gonna finish that handheld apple pie. I'm gonna have another one tonight after dinner, but I'm gonna have it with ice cream. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please hit the like button. Please share the video. If you think somebody would love this recipe, please share the video. Please subscribe to my channel. And if there's any comments that you think I can do to make this recipe a little bit better, please leave it down below. I read and answer all my comments. So again, like I say in all my videos at the very end, and again, this is coming from the heart, take care of one another, especially now, and peace out.